for patterns, tricks, stitches and tips, wands and needles, embroidery.
In this video, we're going to take a look at stem stitch. For stem stitch, you're going to bring your needle up through the back of your fabric. And you're going to advance forward 1 stitch length. As you pull that thread through, make sure you leave a small loop underneath your stitch line. And as you come back up through, you're going to come up through the middle of that stitch. Then go ahead and pull that stitch tight. You're going to again advance forward 1 stitch length, leaving that loop, and coming up through the middle before pulling that stitch tight. Advance forward 1 stitch length, then bring your needle back up through the middle. And then go ahead and pull that stitch tight. Now for stem stitch, it is important that you leave that loop underneath your stitch line. If you leave the loop above your stitch line, technically this is going to be outline stitch. So again, that would look like this. We leave it up there before coming back through, that's going to be outline stitch. Both stitches are going to give a similar look and can be used fairly interchangeably, but once you've started with stem stitch or outline stitch, you want to continue in that same pattern, or you're not going to get the look that you're going for. If you're switching back and forth, it's not going to work. Now, the other thing that comes into play with this stitch is the direction in which you're stitching. So if you're stitching left to right, as I am, and as most right-handed individuals probably would do, or if you're stitching up and down. If you're stitching left to right, you want that loop under your stitch line. If you're stitching up and down, the loop is going to go to the left of your stitch line. Now, if you're left-handed and you're working the opposite direction from right to left, that is going to change a little bit. Then for stem stitch, you're going to want your loop above your stitch line. And for outline stitch, you're going to want the loop below your stitch line. So just some things to keep in mind, that depending on which direction you're stitching, that's going to alter the position of that loop. But again, both of those stitches can be used pretty interchangeably in most circumstances. You just have to pick one and stick to it. So we're just going to keep working across the length of our line here. Again, advancing forward 1 stitch length, and then coming up through the middle, keeping that loop below the stitch line and then pulling it tight. This stitch can be used for any kind of line work, so straight lines, curvy lines. It can be used for lettering. And I would just continue working until I got to the end of my line here. And that is how you're going to do stem stitch.